Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to yet another General Cadaver video. I watched 7 random movies, that's what we're gonna go with. As I always do in these videos, we're gonna start with my least favorite and work my way down, or up, I guess, to my most favorite. We got a few horror movies in here, we got a few Monster High movies, we got one TV show, and we also have a really old classic. So, that's what we're working with today. 7th place, the last of all the 7 random movies that I watched. It's not 7th place because it's bad. It wasn't shot bad, the acting wasn't bad. It was just incredibly uncomfortable. So 7th place I had to put The Strange Thing About the Johnsons. This came out in 2011 and this is just really uncomfortable. You know, from the opening scene, not even 3 minutes in to the damn. And it's not even a movie. I tried to look for it on a movie. It's like a short. I think you can find it on YouTube. I think that's where I watched it. From the opening scene, this kid's just cranking it. Just jorking his paninis right there. You know, we have to watch it. And he's looking at some picture. And we don't see the picture. And then the dad comes in. And it's just kind of weird. The dad, like, has a weird look on his face. He doesn't just, like, immediately leave. He comes in and sits on the kid's bed and decides to have a talk with the kid while he's in the middle of jorking it. So that was already really uncomfortable. I've heard some people say that maybe the dad had been messing with the little boy. I don't know. I think he's just like a weird, or maybe he's just uncomfortable and that's just how he acts in that situation. So it's just kind of weird. The dad like pats him on the leg or something, or gives him a hug. And then he leaves. And we see the picture in the kid's hand was of the dad who left. And I was just like, what the hell am I even watching? What am I doing here watching this? Not even 5 minutes into the movie, into the show, into the short, or whatever, and I'm already out. Don't want to be here. I'm already uncomfortable. We flash to like a party, you know, we see the mom. She's looking for the boy. I can't remember his name. She's looking for the boy. I don't know if it's like maybe like a graduation or something for the boy. It's like a milestone or something like that, some sort of party, I believe. Well, the mom she goes to like the shed in the back or something, like a little fenced off area, and she finds the husband and the son, but the son's like kissing on the dad, like unzipping his pants, taking off his belt and stuff. And the dad's just like standing there. He looks really uncomfortable. He looks like he's not enjoying it. It's pretty obvious that the dad is not a willing participant in this. He looks very uncomfortable, and the mom walks away just crying, just uncomfortable. I mean, obviously, I believe they, you know, have the party later that night. I think they're laying in bed together, the husband and the wife, and she's like awake the whole time. I think the dad asks her if she's like asleep, but she just pretends to be asleep, but she's actually awake. We flash again, like later on in time. The kid's like an adult and he's getting married to this girl. She comes over for dinner. The mom and dad are like being a little lovey-dovey at dinner. The mom's like being a little lovey-dovey to the husband. And the son gets so jealous. It's just so disgusting to watch. It's so uncomfortable. Because he's obviously abusing his father, and it's obviously the worst type of abuse, sexual abuse. The dad didn't even know what to do. Tries to write. Oh yeah, with the son, he's like rubbing his legs underneath the table with his feet. And his wife is there, the girl that he's about to get married to. You know, I feel so bad for her. She doesn't even know she's getting with a crazy person. Somebody who probably doesn't even love her. Probably doesn't even like her. Probably doesn't even care about her. Because he's just a weirdo who's in love with his dad. Then we see the dad tries to write something like a memoir of everything that's happened to him, and then he puts it under the wife's pillow and he tries to leave so the wife will read it. He also wants to publish it or something. He's in the bath. I think the son reads it and like burns it or something, and then he rapes his dad in the bathtub. We don't see it really, which is good, but we kind of like hear, I think the mom hears it, and we kind of hear what she hears, just like splashing and stuff. But it's just so incredibly uncomfortable. Eventually, you know, he runs out with the script and the kid follows him, the guy. He gets hit by a car, which sucks for him, but like I'm glad he's out of his misery. I mean, for one thing, I'm glad that he's away from his son, but it sucks that he had to die in order to get away from his son. The wife, it runs out there and the son's cradling his body, screaming, cradling his dad's body like a lover. would cradle like their lover's body. It's just very uncomfortable. He's screaming at the mom not to touch him and to go call 911. And then at the end we see the mom finally confronts the son, and we find out that on the prom night something happened, like his dad came home different, and she always wondered what happened, but the son won't tell her. He just says, like, I don't remember, that was so long ago. And they get into a fight. I believe the mom kills the kid, I hope. Can't exactly remember. Kills the kid, I believe, and like, good riddance. You know, you're abusing your dad. You're not even self-aware enough to try to get therapy for what you're doing, for how you feel. You know, you're not even trying to help anybody, you're just perpetuating it. So, I mean, yeah. And it sucks that his dad had to die. It sucks that the mom knew, like, kind of knew the whole time. I wish she would have been strong enough to bring it up to her husband, bring it up to her kid, maybe go to maybe not go to the police, maybe find, like, a therapist and get them in family counseling, and then get the son put in jail or mental institution, because that's what he needs. He needs to go to jail or be in a mental institution, because I don't know if something happened to him when he was a kid. I hope the dad didn't do anything. The dad did seem a little weird in the beginning, the way he was smiling and stuff, but I don't know if that's enough to imply he ever did anything sexual with the kid, which obviously that is super wrong too, but it wouldn't justify, you know, the kid turning around and abusing, like, obviously, you know, because nobody's deserves to be abused. I don't know. I don't think the dad did anything to him. I think the kid was just a weird kid, and he grew up to be a weird adult, and yeah, he ruined his family's life. I gave The Strange Thing About the Johnsons 4 stars. Everything about it was good, and that's good. You want horror and stuff to make you uncomfortable. It did its job. It made me extremely uncomfortable. I felt bad for everybody involved, really, except for the son. I didn't really feel bad for him. Everybody. His dad just goes in last place because it was the most uncomfortable thing I watched. I think it is probably an important watch for people, you know, spreading awareness, I guess. Worst thing I watched, 7th place, next movie. In 6th place, I have Wednesday Season 1. Season 1 came out in 2022. I originally started kind of watching it when it came out, but I didn't finish it. I don't think I ever watched the final 2 episodes. I finally got around to actually watching it, and I finished season 2. There's just so many problems besides, like, you know, it's fun. Obviously, being an outcast, you'd want to go to this school. Like, it looks fun. It looks so cool. I always wanted to be a vampire. I hate uniforms, but at least their uniforms are interesting and not, like, just tucked in polo shirts with khaki pants and an ugly belt like we had in freaking middle school. The food seems better, too. Like, it doesn't seem like it's, I don't know, government regulated, but everybody there is rich, though. I think it is, like, a private school, which I don't believe in. I don't think you should have to pay to go to school. That sucks. I mean, I guess if you have the money, but that just sucks for everybody else who doesn't have the money. But it's a fun little show. I like seeing everything. You know, Enid's and Wednesday's personalities are fun when they clash. Like Weems. The monster looks pretty weird. Like, he's not scary at all. He's more funny looking. He's more funny looking than anything. Characters are fun, though. I like seeing Christina Ricci's character. It sucked that she, like, turned on everybody. I thought that she was okay, you know, at first. She seemed fine. Mostly it's just a fun show, but there are some problems with it. I don't know if the family dynamic is 100% accurate. Typically, you know, Wednesday and Morticia love each other more. They fight a lot in this one. Not all the plot lines I don't think all the plot lines were, like, finely tuned throughout the whole story. Even in season 2, some of the stuff carried over. It's a little cheesy and schlocky, but I mean, for the most part, I do enjoy it. I think it's cool. I like seeing a lot of the extravagant outfits and things like that, and seeing a school experience that seems so much better than anything I ever experienced. But it still gets 6th place. It was just, I don't know, not as good as everything else I saw. Next movie. In 5th place, I have a movie called The Gorge. This actually came out this year. I'm unsure which month, but I was surprised to hear about it. I don't think I ever heard about it when it was coming out. I've just saw it on some horror lists and things like that. This movie gets 5th place because it's mostly just boring. I think it tries to be too many movies in one. It's like pretty equally divided up into like 3 sections with some romance, a tiny bit of horror that never really comes back. And honestly, I can't even remember the ending. I think they try to take down the government organization that's behind it all. You know, the first guy we see picked up, they watch over this gorge, try to make sure nothing in the gorge comes out, but it's a man-made gorge. They're keeping it alive and running tests on the people and stuff. And oh yeah, at the end, they blow the gorge up. They release like a protocol that the government was stopping or something, or wouldn't let anybody do. So yeah, they blow up the gorge, and then I guess they're home free. You know, I guess they could just go back wherever. We see the girl end up somewhere, and she's waiting for the guy. She's waiting forever. She almost gives up, and then inexplicably he shows up at like some restaurant that she's at or something, and then they have a happily ever after. But it was just a bunch of movies in one. I went in for like the Gorge stuff, the horror movie stuff, but there was barely any of that, and it was pretty boring seeing people interact without interacting. Oh my god. It wasn't that good. It has Anya Taylor-Joy. She's good and everything. I do like seeing her. I think it had somebody else. I can't remember his name. Whatever. I don't think the acting was terrible. They had a little bit of chemistry. I wouldn't say there was so much chemistry, but it wasn't terrible. It's just, I didn't like it. You know, I went in for the horror stuff, and that's not what I got. I feel like maybe it shouldn't have, maybe it markets the horror too much. I don't know. That's really what I was expecting from it. More horror stuff, and that's just not what I got. I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd. Again, you know, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. Would I watch it again? No. I'm not gonna watch it again. I think it's like 2 hours long. I'd rather just spend my time watching a whole nother movie that I've never seen. Next movie. In 4th place, I have the Monster High movie, Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love? This movie basically centers around Draculaura. She has a love triangle with this gay vampire Valentine. Apparently he's gay. He's with some character named Spelden. I never knew he was gay, but apparently he's gay. He's got like this fake southern accent, very True Blood coded. It looks like they, you know, whoever's writing this was reading some Charlaine Harris. It's got some good things about it. She basically is like cheating on Claude, which, I mean, I don't really care. High school, kids are kids. You're just figuring shit out. It's probably the best time to cheat on somebody, if you're going to cheat on somebody, is high school, you know, because hopefully, you know, the person's not going to freak out and you and stuff like that in high school. And plus, you know, you got to figure that shit out when you're young. So I don't really care. This is like an old crush of hers. I can understand, because she was ripped away. She never got that closure. I can understand why she'd want the closure, but it is a little fucked up because Claude likes her so much. But at the same time, he could just be like, hey, I don't like this, just talk to her. I don't think he does throughout the entire movie. Basically, the vampire guy created Valentine's Day for her, because she was born on Valentine's Day, February 14th. He wants to get her heart in a jar. He never got to complete. I guess he's like an emotional vampire. He steals people's love. Like once he makes them in love with him, he breaks their heart, and then he gets a big burst of energy. So he's trying to basically kill Draculaura. He's basically trying to break her heart so he could steal all her energy and stuff like that. But they ended up defeating him. I don't really remember how. I think they just like knock Draculaura, you know, off it, and she just realizes, hey, I like Claude, I don't like this weird dude, Valentine. It does have the good animation. I really like how the movie's animated. I like the show animation and the earlier movie animations. The newer movies, no, I don't really like their animation at all. Yeah, I like, it's funny seeing everybody be low-key mad at Draculaura because she's like everybody's favorite. At least, you know, humans. Apparently she's everybody's favorite character. So it's just funny seeing everybody be mad at her and everybody get onto her ass. But, you know, she is so sweet. I don't know if she means anything by it, but she's just a high school kid. She's just figuring out how to deal with her big emotions, so I can't really blame her. You get 2 hot dudes. I think the girl should have them both. I think Claude and Valentine both should have been Draculaura's. I think the woman should get what she wants 9 times out of 10, brother. So why not have 2 men? Oh, I forgot to say, this came out in 2012. I did give it 4 stars on Letterboxd, mostly for the nostalgia. I just like Monster High. I have some Monster High dolls. you know, placed around everywhere. I prefer G1 Monster High, but G3 is still cool. I have some G3 dolls. And they're getting better slowly, it seems like. Every now and then they have like a really bad dud release where everybody just looks terrible. But they do have some good dolls. Next movie. Third place. This movie gets third place. Monster High, Scariest City of Frights. This came out in 2013. This is basically Claudine Wolfe's Monster High movie. I like following Claudine Wolfe as she's a really nice character. Obviously, she's very, very fashionable. She wants to be a fashion designer, so that's why we go. There's this, I can't remember her name. The Ghostess, whatever. So the Ghostess, she like wants Claudine. Mostly, I think she just wants to change their designs and make them design things just like her. And then, like, she traps you underground and makes you design stuff for her. So really, if Claudine wins this contest, she's just going to be trapped forever. So she thinks it's a good thing. She goes to Paris to work for this lady. And this is where we also meet Scalita Calaveras and Gina Fire Long. They are also fashion students, fashion people from respectively their countries. They're all there. They're obviously competing for this contest. Everybody else is like running around. They're like finding out that this ghostess lady is not good. Rochelle comes with them, Rochelle Goyle, and we find like she used to live in Scaris. She had this boyfriend named Garrett, and he was like he was a drawer or a fashion designer, whatever. One day, you know, they just lost contact and stuff, or he stopped writing letters once she moved. They find him in the dang catacombs, locked up. I think Ghoulia, of course, finds a weird way into the catacombs or something. Ghoulia's always riding around on that damn scooter. Oh, I think we see another cat character. We see her, but she's not in this movie, which is weird, but we see her. Whatever, I would have preferred her being in the movie. They find Garrett. He's locked up in the catacombs. Rochelle finds him. He won. I don't know, I guess the Von Dutch or whatever the hell had this contest before, and he was the winner, so he obviously got captured and stuck in there. I guess she's been feeding him. He looks fine. He doesn't look malnourished or anything, but obviously, you know, she's been holding him hostage. So they break him out. I guess they make sure Claudine doesn't win. None of them win. I think they expose her. I can't remember. I can't remember if they expose her or if they blackmail her into, like, not telling anybody what she did, but if she gives Claudine the job and doesn't make her like change her style and stuff. I can't remember. I hope they went with the latter. I hope they just blackmailed her so that Claudine Wolfe could become a fashion designer and all that stuff and have her designs made. That'd probably be the better outcome. Of course, the main draw with these movies is seeing all the extra characters that we never really get to see. Never really had that many dolls. You know, and they slowly get introduced in these movies. It's not just the main 4 or 5 girls that they have in, like, the show or whatever. You know, I like that we're slowly introduced to more and more characters. That was always my biggest thing. I always love seeing just more and more Monster High characters. Not a bad movie. It gets third place. I guess I enjoyed it better than the first one. I think the stakes were higher. Claudine would have been trapped forever and never heard from again, while in the other one, Dracula would have just been depressed and sad over a boy that never liked her in the first place. So I guess the stakes were higher, so I put this one higher. And I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd, mostly, again, for the nostalgia. I just like the Monster High characters. I just like pretending that I'm a kid watching the movies, so that's mostly why this movie gets a 4 stars. Next movie. In second place, we have The Exorcist from 1973. Apparently when this came out, people were throwing up in the theaters. Apparently somebody had like a heart attack. I've heard a lot of people on the set were like died or something, or had something bad happen to them, I think. Or was that Poltergeist? I don't really know. People were scared of this movie when it came out. It did have some disturbing imagery. Possession is like the least scary thing to me. I don't believe in demons. I really only believe in humans and their own shittiness. So anytime like God and the devil gets brought up in a movie, I'm like, oh, okay, so this is gonna be boring and stupid. Basically, you know, good's gonna triumph as it always does. And yeah, the movie is like that. It just gets some standard possession stuff. I guess it wasn't standard then though. You know, apparently this was like the first movie to ever do this. There was one scene is pretty disturbing when the little girl's like stabbing herself in the vagina with a cross, and then she like makes her mom, she like puts her mom's face down in her crotch. That's really the most disturbing part of the movie in my opinion. Most disturbing visual that we get, because obviously it's the demon making the little girl do this. And one scene, her head twist all the way around. That wasn't too disturbing. I mean, I've seen Scary Movie 2, so that kind of ruins The Exorcist, because I just kind of see it as Scary Movie 2 kind of when I watch it. But it was good. I like the girl Reagan. You know, I think this was the first movie to use a Ouija board to like talk to spirits, and then I believe that's how like it took off. I've heard that. I don't know how true that is. It is a pretty interesting movie. It is a little boring, I will say, but I did enjoy it a lot more than I thought I would. I thought I was going to be bored the whole entire time, but it went a little bit faster than I thought, and I did enjoy it. It's just a good movie. I mean, it's a classic for a reason. It's shot good. There's good suspense. You feel so bad for the mom and the little girl. Obviously, the little girl is like trapped in her own body. There's one point where we see her stomach. I'm assuming her, or maybe the demon just, you know, using it to hurt everybody who's seeing her, like writes help, but from the inside of her stomach, and it shows up on the outside of her stomach. It's got a lot of disturbing imagery, and in the end, good prevails. Of course, the priest gets the demon into him and then jumps out the window, killing both of them, I guess. You know, or killing the demon's host, so he gets sent back to hell. I'm not sure if the demon's dead or if he's just went back to hell, whatever. Yeah, I think he was like struggling with his faith the whole time because he lost his mother or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But it is a good movie. I liked it. You know, the characters are pretty compelling. And of course, I liked seeing all the things that Scary Movie 2 made fun of when they had the short little thing about the Exorcist or some of the Exorcist inspiration throughout the movie. I can see why it would scare everybody. I guess back then, if this was like the worst thing you'd ever seen, if you'd only ever seen, I don't know what they had before this, black and white silent films. I guess if all you'd ever seen is black and white silent films, and then the first colored thing with sound you ever see is this, a little girl stabbing herself with a vagina with a crucifix. It is pretty disgusting, and obviously so blasphemous, using religion, mocking, I don't know if it's mocking religion. Isn't it like a good look for Christians? Isn't it a good look for it? I really don't know how the religious community would take this movie. I did enjoy it, I have to say, and I was not expecting to. I was expecting to think it was boring and dumb. I did give this movie 5 stars. I felt like it deserved it. It was pretty good. Shot good. I liked the acting. And fun fact, the little girl broke her back. In the movie, they actually broke the little girl's back to get the shots of her screaming and being flailed all over the bed. Next movie. In the first place, we have yet another movie that came out this year. I have placed Weapons from 2025. This, I believe, came out back in August. I went and saw it in the theater. This movie was just really good. I probably should make a whole video about just this movie, but you know, we follow multiple stories throughout the film. Justine Gandy is the teacher. We follow her, I mean, throughout the story, mostly her. She's like the main character. A bunch of her students go missing in the middle of the night. One boy's left, and then we slowly, you know, we see her getting chased, having sex with this cop. We see one of the boys' dads be really mad at her. He like starts vandalizing her possessions. We see the cop's perspective. He's cheating on his wife. He's supposed to be going to AA meetings, but he isn't. We see this crack addict's perspective. He like finds all the kids and he's going around trying to steal crack or doing crack or something. He's doing some sort of something. And then we see the principal's perspective. You know, the principal gets visited by this weird lady, and the weird lady makes him kill his husband and sends him off. And then we get the old lady's perspective. She's done all this. She made all the kids leave in the middle of the night. She had them all at the little boy's house where they were staying. That's why the little boy was alive, because he had to get all the stuff for the witch lady, Gladys, the red-haired lady. She like tortures his parents, basically. She keeps all the kids locked up in the basement. He's just feeding them like cold soup for, I think they're gone for like a month or 2 months or something. They're gone for a long time. The witch is trying to kill Justine. She's trying to suck everybody's life force to make herself feel better. We don't know how old she is. We think she's really old because she's talking about consumption, which hasn't been a thing for, I don't know, they used to call it tuberculosis, or they used to call tuberculosis consumption, but I don't know. Tuberculosis is still going on, but I don't know. I've never had it, so. It's just a really good movie. I like movies where you follow multiple perspectives, because by the time you get bored with one person's perspective, they switch you in. I have ADHD, so I love it. It's like a new, fresh, it keeps me on my toes. I love it. And then also I'm still able to hold on to everything that I just watched and piece it together. And plus, in each segment, they piece it together with the characters whose perspectives you just saw. It's really, really good. I like it. I like the story. I like Gladys. I like the real witchcraft element to the supernatural element. I'm like that it's not just like a ghost or a possession. It's a woman using nature to get what she wants, which is, you know, I like witchcraft in movies. I think we should put more witchcraft in movies. Maybe not. I guess if it calls for it, we don't need to put it in everything. But it's just really good. You know, and I like seeing this old lady basically whoop everybody's ass. You know, old people are already scary enough because you can smell the cellular decay, and obviously you get a glimpse into your own terrifying future. So just seeing an old lady on screen was terrifying enough. But then her kicking everybody's asses, we don't know what the hell she's gonna do to the kids. We don't know. She's torturing this little boy, and the little boy just seems so sad. He's already getting bullied at school and stuff, and now he's got this bully at home. So the little boy probably has it the worst because he's like active. I'm assuming. Hopefully the people are just, I don't know, in a trance or something. His mind is active and going. He can remember everything. And then at the end of the movie, we see the little boy. He fixes it all. He uses her own spells against her, and he uses all the kids' hair and her hair, and he breaks a twig with his blood because he's watched her do it the whole movie. He's picked up, she taught him how to defeat her, which is awesome. I like that. And how smart is the little boy to, like, you know, pick up on the information and use it and stuff. And then we see her running out of the house. She can just sense a disturbance in the force or something. And we see her running out of the house screaming. All these kids, they come from the basement. And this is the best scene in the movie. It sucks that it's at the end, but it's a hell of a finale. All these kids come and they start eating and ripping this old lady apart. It's just so interesting seeing the kids attack her. I don't know, it's good. I like that the kids got to kill her because they were her victims. You know, it only makes sense for the victims to decide the fate of the perpetrator. It only makes sense. So I'm glad. And it was just a really enjoyable scene, seeing this old lady get pulled apart and murdered by her victims, because she did deserve it. You know, her reign of terror is finally stopped because she's killed so many people, tortured them, and she's just going through it. You know, going through everybody, ruining people's families for we don't know how long, probably hundreds of years. But yeah, that was the best scene in the movie. But I liked all the characters. Justine, she has a funny haircut, we'll say. It's like not this decade. It's like super old haircut, it looks like. She kind of looks like she has an old lady haircut. I mean, they probably did that to help her fit the teacher aesthetics. Teachers always look weird. I mean, I guess they have to. I don't believe in dress code for teachers or students, but whatever. I think dress code is stupid. The only people who need dress code are like surgeons. Surgeons are the only one who shouldn't be able to show up to work in a sports bra and short shorts. Like, everywhere else should allow that. Get rid of dress codes. Stop censorship. But yeah, this one just has to be the best one. It was good. It wasn't boring. It kept me on my toes. It kept me interested. I wasn't on my phone or doing something else. Well, mostly because I was at the theater. But I still just really was invested. I just really enjoyed what I was seeing. I wish it was longer, I do. I wish we got more. Or we don't get Gladys's perspective, but I wish we did. We get some of her perspective. I wish we got more of her story. I wish we, you know, got definitive answers. But what we did get was still really good, and I enjoyed it. So this movie gets a first place out of all random 7 movies, out of everything I watched in August. This is the best movie. Weapons, hands down. I gave this movie a 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. It wasn't like perfect, I guess, but I did really enjoy it. I had a good experience at the theater. This movie, I have rewatched, actually. I rewatched it with my mom and my grandma. They watched it for the first time. They enjoyed it too. They thought it was creepy. They liked it. So I would watch it again. I do recommend it. I think it's really good. I don't know, my favorite character is probably the drug addict. He's the funniest character in the movie. He's got a lot of personality. He plays him so funny and pretty accurate to tweakers I've seen in real life and things. Yeah, Weapons was really good. Okay, guys, that is the end of the 7 random movies. That is every movie that I watched in August. I'm just reformatting these videos to see if it helps. I noticed, you know, they weren't getting many views, so reformatting it is. Yeah, we're gonna see if this helps. So yeah, the next one of these videos, I'm going to be rating 8 movies, so stay tuned for that. It'll be a little bit longer than this one. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've seen any of these movies, especially Weapons. Let me know if you enjoyed Weapons. If you've seen any of these movies in theaters. The only one I ever saw in theaters was Weapons. I don't even know if Wednesday came out in theater, but let me know what you thought about these movies. Please subscribe to the channel for more movie content, dog content, fashion content, just a whole bunch of random content, book content. Subscribe, like the video, comment anything you want, follow my Patreon, my Mercari, my Buy Me a Coffee, and my Depop to help support me. Follow all my social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, Reddit, Snapchat, and anything else I have. Also Letterboxd and Criticless if you want to stay up to date with what movies I'm watching. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!